How's it, Josh? Looks like they actually were able to sell some seats to this game. Looks like a lot more people than what Ticketmaster had showed available. But they haven't done a wide shot of the stadium yet, so I don't know how many people are actually here. It's a pretty big stadium for football there, so yeah.
Where are they at?
DC. Very ready. Off the camera. It's like pointing this way. Yeah, I kind of wish they'd done it like in an MLR stadium. Because then they could have sold it out totally if they'd done it in a Major League Rugby or a Major League Soccer stadium. They had Ireland play at the Red Bull Stadium in New York a few years back, and it did really well. So the last time the All Blacks were here on soil, they were at Chicago Soldier Field in Chicago, and it was sold out. It's like 65,000 capacity, and it was completely sold out. Unfortunately, they did lose to Ireland that weekend, but yeah, it was like the last time I saw Malachi Fekatoa in a black jersey. Kia ora. It's a beautiful day, it seems like, too. I think it's about 18, 19 there. Obviously pretty cloudy, but no rain in the forecast. Only about 50% humidity, which would be lovely if we had that here. But we live in Texas, and it's like 100% humidity here. Sam Whitelock looks so weird without a beard. Very odd watching him without a beard. Not yet, Andrew. We're still in the national anthems right now. I'm still waiting for this Haka to pop up. It's going to be mean, I'm sure. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty heavy one. How's it, Ashley? Kind of wish this was the USA Eagles and South Africa. That'd be really awkward, but no, that'd be great. I don't know if I call him a bogan. I think that's what they call him there. They don't call him hillbillies. I mean, he's from Canterbury, which does have some mountains, but yeah, I make a lot of jabs at Sam's appearance. I believe that he probably lives in a cave and clubs his food to death every night before he takes it in there and cooks it on a fire. But I mean, he's a good guy. I've seen multiple interviews. Him and Brody Retallick make fun of each other constantly, which rightfully so. One looks like a caveman with a unibrow, and the other one's got giant teeth. But yeah, it's just good guys. I mean, they're no Bucky Sputa and Victor Madfield, which anybody noticed that we had the anniversary of that victory the other day. It was kind of cool seeing that on social media. Yeah, I would enjoy that too, SA and USA, just because there are quite a few South Africans on the USA team as well, and I think it would match well. I mean, obviously South Africa would win, but I think it would be interesting to kind of see with Gary Gold being also a SAFA coach. I think it would be a pretty big deal if that ever happened. If and when that happens, I can only hope one day that'll happen here. Apparently, they are paying NZRU 2 or 3 million for this game. I'm sure South Africa Rugby would like that kind of coin as well. So maybe Arasi will say, "Hey, let's go play a game in America for a quick paycheck." So. Alright, I'm excited about this one. This is the Haka. This is going to be a mean one. Last time I saw one of these, the Modi All Blacks were live. They were doing it against the USA Eagles, and it was probably the best live Haka I've ever seen. Ash Dixon led it. It was absolutely epic. Rico Iowani was actually on that Modi All Blacks, as was his brother Akira, before they had gotten their call up. Good. Paying their respects for Sean. It's a good thing to see. The USA showing their respects. We got Sam and Dane Coles coming out. Shaking hands. Picking up everything. Getting back. Oh, man. Unfortunate. Now you can see the empty seats behind them, unfortunately. And you guys watching live, you'll see it. Oh, here we go.
Of course I had to come watch it. Sad.
That's sad how empty that stadium is. Oh man, TJ doing his thing.
There we go.
Even got the misses. She had to get up and watch this one.
He's a joke.
Notice the Safa Honko, no smile on his face.
Look at the crazy eyes in the back right there.
Oh man, it was a mean one. It was a mean one. Sorry, Josh. I'll try to speak a little louder. Maybe I got to turn down the TV so we don't get shut down here. What a starting 15 that's going to be. Thankfully, it's not American commentators. It's usually the Irish guys that do a lot of ours here domestically, doing a lot of that. So, oh wow, Finley Christie and his bright red hair. That's going to look interesting at 9 there. And yeah, here's our starting 15. 3 South Africans on there. Honko, Bryce Campbell's South African. I think there might be one other, but it's some English, some Australians, a Kiwi or 2, Irish guy, Paul Mullen, but all naturalized here. It's not like they just moved here recently. A lot of them came here in senior school, high school, middle school, secondary, or for college, and just kind of stuck around. I think that's what AJ McGee came here for uni, and then ended up just playing for the U.S. Unfortunately, he is not here, and that is going to suck because that is our best chance at getting points. Like, it looked like they tried to buy the seats in the middle. Those were the most expensive seats. I'm wondering how much of those were giveaways by USA Rugby or corporate sponsors or whatnot. But, yeah, we're about to kick off here. Man, I don't know if you guys can see it at home, but you can still see a lot of the dashes and marks on the pitch from the NFL team playing there. Oh, God, it's obvious bad. Yeah. Looks like they're playing on a rugby league field instead of a union field. D-Mac gonna try and make an outrun for the outside. Offloads to Braden Enor. Christie's got it. They're already just running down the pitch. And yeah. 29 seconds, guys. 29 seconds. All Blacks already scored. Yeah, this is going to be a long afternoon. But rightfully so, whenever I watch the USA play Scotland and they beat Scotland, Scotland did the exact same thing and they ended up beating them. I don't think that's going to be the case today, but it's going to be a long day. Kind of all started with Damian McKenzie there with the offload to George Bridge. Yeah. And then ends up with Luke Jacobson taking it all the way in. Looked like about a 40-meter run there, and touches the ball down. And it's 6-0 already. 29 seconds into, or 5-0, excuse me. Who's going to do? I guess Malonga will do the kick. We can go from there. But oh, there he is. Oh, that mullet is looking mean. He's looking more and more like Dennis Edwards every day, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who that is, yeah. And 100, not outside of a possibility. I still think we're slightly better than that Tongan team that got 100 put up on them a couple of months back now. But yeah, this is going to be a long afternoon for the red, white, and blue, and not the Kiwi red, white, and blue. Get it in. And Richie converts. Oh, dude, there's a guy in the stands. Okay, he's got his Kiwi flag and his Hurricanes jersey on. Oh. Yeah, this might be hopefully this isn't in for too long of an afternoon. Mr. Showtime, how's it, boy? Cheers, man. Thanks for watching. Will Jordan, a little bit of bobble on the ball here. USA has possession, about the midway point. Oh, these All Blacks are just on another level, man.
What time is it when they're at?
Anybody in Safa, what time is it there right now? What time is it in South Africa right now? I know it's about 8 in the morning in Aotearoa. I think it's... So, anybody let me know what time it is in Namibia, South Africa, Botswana right now. My phone is currently streaming the game, so I can't really check on my phone, so... It's 9:30 at night. Thanks. Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, Mrs. was asking what time it was. I checked you guys' weather. You guys pretty much are having the same kind of weather we're having here in North Texas. I guess it's nice springtime in South Africa. It's fall here, autumn, but it's still supposed to get bloody hot again this next week here. And yeah, once again, this is a tier 1 nation versus a tier 2 nation, and it's kind of already showing in every aspect of the game so far. I mean, this isn't even taking mind. It's 7-0, Mr. Showtime. 7-0. Jacobson scored 30 seconds into the match. This is going to be a nice... And this isn't even, take in mind, this isn't even like New Zealand's top forward pack. These are, you know, this is our best guys probably, and then Will Jordan's got it. He's got a nice little break. He offloads. Quinn Tupaya, he's down at the 5-meter line right now. Finley offloads to Mo'unga. Ooh.
Score?
Nathan de Groot with the score. Oh, it's great, dude. Mrs. is doing some work whatnot with her home business. I'll be posting that pretty soon here. If any of you guys want to get any personalized merchandise, I'm not going to be one of these guys that say, yes, Mr. Showtime, I'm very familiar with Gareth. You know, he's been a little bit MIA lately because his mom passed away, unfortunately. But I've been talking to that guy for years. He's a really interesting guy. I think watching his live streams, especially if he's been knocking back a few, it gets really entertaining. But yeah, he's a great guy. Love the hell out of that dude. Should be a pretty easy one for Richie. That spot on the pitch. It's been pretty money, it seems. Really cementing his rep as the guy in the 10 jersey, which is weird because it's like Bowden Barrett was world class for so long, and he still is. It's just Richie, you know, in his absence when he went into the Japan thing, Richie kind of really put his hand up and, you know, kind of made it known that, hey, look, guys, I'm the right guy. Yeah. And of course, money as is. So what are we looking at right now? 14-0. Have we even made it 10 minutes into the game yet? Man. Some of you guys out there predicting 100, you may be right. You may be right, because it's not like the guys off their bench are going to be any slower at it. 6 minutes in, we're already at 14-0. And, yeah. D-Mac with the offload, knocked on. Advantage for the USA. Maybe we can get a little something going here. You can just tell the nerves are all there. And that All Black defense is just way fast. You know, I don't mean to dog out the US. I mean, we're really coming a long way. And the MLR is definitely going to be the thing that helps it grow here. All my SAFA followers, you know, Heineke Meyer is going to be working with the Houston Sabercats this coming season. I think he's going to remain in South Africa while he's doing it, but they even have a South African coach. They have an absolutely beautiful stadium. Me and the missus have been down for it. Absolutely beautiful pitch. They're in Houston, the south side of Houston. And, you know, just a growing sport here. Obviously, we have a lot farther to grow, but I think a lot of the key things that we're going to bring into it is, I know a lot of you guys aren't big fans of NFL because it's kind of boring, but that's going to be the key. Gridiron football players making the switch to rugby is going to really be the thing that I think really drives our success of the sport here, because those guys, a lot of them are naturally built like rugby players. Oh, that's just... D-Mac with the offload to Will Jordan. He boots it forward, and nobody's going to catch him. Yep, Will Jordan at 9 minutes. I told you, he's dangerous, man. That guy has the capability to put points on the board. Very young guy out there on that right wing. I think he's good at 14 or 15. He saw it both of those with the Crusaders. I'm not a huge Crusaders fan, but I don't deny that Scott Robertson's done a lot down there with that program. They were good, and he's kept them at that consistent level. It's a tough place to play. Richie Moonga with the conversion. Looks off to the right side, maybe about 21 meters out, 22 meters out, 23 meters out. Everybody always has like the weird thing that he does. Richie doesn't have it. Like D-Mac smiles when he's about to kick, and you have Owen Farrell who does that swaying thing. I can't stand that guy. But everybody kind of has it. It doesn't look like Richie has a little bit of a tell, but he just kind of concentrates. I think he's just visualizing, which is what most of them do. But with D-Mac, when that grin comes on his face, he's got it. Will Jordan putting up the Mako symbol. Yeah, Richie misses the conversion, so... Restart, Jordan has it again. Got Honko Hermesize who came running in to try to make the pass. Yeah, man, 75 might be a low bowl, man. I just did the math in my head. Math's not my greatest thing. I don't think they're going to put up 160, but yeah, 100 might be a handsome estimate of it. Because even when they go to their bench in the second half, our bench is not going to be better. Their bench is still world class, so... If any of you folks out there play Rugby Challenge on PlayStation or Xbox, whatever you have, this reminds me of when you play as South Africa on super easy and you play like Portugal. That's what this looks like. Yeah, you can just tell they're on a different level. The All Blacks are. We're trying our best, yeah. Outstepping feathers. So Tutu, the offload, D-Mac carries it in, 12 minutes, 30 seconds. Yeah, D-Mac gets the score. I feel like maybe I should have worn my Chiefs jersey. There's that grin of his. We all know all about it. Oh, Mr. Showtime, how familiar? So I went to a music festival recently in Birmingham, Alabama, and there were a few people that recognized. A lot of people thought it was a soccer jersey that I was wearing because I wore Springboks jerseys every single day to the show. I did run into one Kiwi kid who was like 19. He lives here in the States. So, I mean, they're not super familiar. The score right now, as of that conversion, easy conversion, by... So we've got 26-0, I believe, would be the score. But yeah, Mr. Cho, yes, people do know who they are. I drive around, like my car, the back of my automobile has like South Africa stuff all over it, and I do try to rep as well as I can. And yeah, so yeah, 26-0 is the score. Richie Moonga 3 for 4 on kicking right now, and we're only 12 minutes into the game. Restart. Who's going to catch this one? Will Jordan again. He's been catching a lot of these kicks on the restarts. I guess just because of that right side, they've been trying to avoid that number 11. So. So penalty, All Blacks wouldn't release the dang ball, but we're gonna kick. Are we gonna get it in? All right. Coming in for the line out. And this is going to be interesting. See how our set pieces work. This is a big thing that we as Springboks fans, we pride ourselves on our set pieces. We do get possession. Bryce Campbell with the ball. Stopped pretty quickly. Gonna get some phases going here. If we can at least get some forward motion going, maybe at least show some kind of a chink in the armor of the All Blacks, but 50%. We have a good South African coach right now. Gary Gold, I think, is a great coach, but yeah, it's just it's our domestic talent just isn't there yet. Our best players usually aren't American born. So sadly enough, at this point, we get the line out to the All Blacks. Finley just kind of running around. Penalty on the Eagles. Dangerous tackle. Okay. It would be nice if we could get like a big name Kiwi coach or a bigger name South African coach. I mean, I would love it here, but I think, you could honestly bring somebody like the likes of Rossi Erasmus or Steve Hansen or Eddie Jones here, and it takes time to develop that talent that we need to domestically. Because the fact of the matter is if you're really great at rugby, you're not going to play in the MLR. You're going to go play in the Premiership, or you're going to go play in France because that's or the URC, just because that's where the money is. With the MLR, we do get some of those big names in, but they're at the end of their career. Like, it just was announced this morning, Ma'anonu is coming back to San Diego. Like, that guy's like 37, 38 years old now. He's still good, but he's obviously not at the top level anymore. It's almost like when Sonny Bill signed that huge league contract with Toronto, my hometown, and yeah, it's just going to take some time to get there. Like I said, there's going to be some money being pumped in domestically to the sport here. Like Mark Cuban, owner of the Dallas Mavericks, he's wanting to get the Rugby World Cup here. We definitely have the facilities for it. We definitely have the money for it. It's just, I don't know, with us holding a World Cup and an Olympics in the next decade. The Soccer World Cup is coming here. We're sharing that with Mexico and Canada. I think they both get 2 stadiums. We're going to be the lion's share of it because we're putting up probably the most money for it. But yeah, it's just going to take some time to develop our talent here domestically. And like I said, it's happening. You're starting to see it. There's high schools that have teams now that didn't before. If any of you guys ever look at Memphis Rugby, it's predominantly in an African-American area, and they have an amazing rugby program there. You look at a guy like Perry Baker for our Sevens national team. He was a football player. So it is getting there. It is getting there. It's just going to take some time. We all remember how Japan was 25 years ago. It was a laughing stock. They were horrible, and now they're a tier 1 team, which I feel like they kind of bought their way into it. But money buys a lot of things, man. I'm gonna have to check at halftime what this possession is, because I feel like it's like the All Blacks ball 95% of the time now. Will Jordan on the right side there. I think a good thing, though, about this, too, is if Americans are watching this, since the NFL lines are still on the pitch, they get an actual idea of how much bigger a rugby pitch is than an NFL stadium, an NFL field. Because, right there, that big, thick white line, that's the out-of-bound line in American football. And then, of course, Jacobson with a second. It's a pad the stats game. If you want to pad your stats up, this is probably a good game to do it in. I think another reason they ended up here though too is because you got to have a natural grass pitch to play, and most of the NFL stadiums are using artificial grass now. Like even the one here closest to us, which is the AT&T Stadium where the Dallas Cowboys play. It seats like 100,000 people, but it's not real grass; it's turf. So that is a problem with the MLR, is that you do have quite a few of them playing on turf instead of actual natural grass. Yeah, Japan, they did get it. I think they've really shown what good, financing can do to your program, and they've definitely got a good coach there and everything. So it's should be an interesting, I think, going forward. Obviously, they gave Australia a run for their money last night. I watched a bit of that. I couldn't handle it because the commentary that we had here in the States was absolutely like, and he gets it through. Was absolutely atrociously bad, like so bad that my missus was like, "Turn the volume off." And it sounded like it was recorded in somebody's basement, and
No,
it was just
it
bad.
was rapid monotone.
Yeah.
They talk somebody in monotone, they were talking quick.
Yeah, it was just really bad, rapid monotone. Nothing. It was really bad coverage. I'm surprised we didn't get the Stan Sport coverage of it, which I'm not even too keen on Stan Sport, but it would have been better than that. So 33-0, guys. 21 minutes into the game. So do the math. Yeah, it could be. I agree. I love the South African commentators, especially when they have like Joel Stransky down on the pitch. It's just a good, just because it seems like those are the kind of guys you could go and have a beer with, or you invite them over to the Bry and just watch matches and just talk about footy. And so I do enjoy it. So people have asked me how I feel about Justin Marshall and is it Grant Nesbitt, I think, in New Zealand. I enjoy them too, just because it's just a classic. Yeah, more than a point a minute. Yep. I noticed they haven't really shown the coaches too much usually, because they'll show them up in the booth, and I'm pretty sure Gary Gold has a grimace on his face, or he's a scowling, or he's just like, high tackle and holy by Sosutu, it looks like. I would have just kicked for 3. You're not going to get it in that way. Not with set pieces, man. I would have just took the 3. Try to get 3. Yeah, he probably is. I'm not going to say that, though, because he is a Safa man. And
That's sad. That's more.
we're cut a little different. Even though I'm only half, we're cut a little different, man. Like, talk to my missus a lot. I don't ever really remember my dad crying very much. Faucet down. We're at the 5. Honko's trying to get in the mix, and they're keeping him out of it. He wants that ball. He wants to rush it in. All Blacks turnover on possession. All Blacks are just... it's just... Jordan. Richie Mo'unga out to Sam Whitelock, and he just barrels through that big frame of his. Finley. Tupovai. Finley's not doing too bad. I get it that he's up. Will Jordan offload to Richie. Richie's gonna get it. Yeah, Richie's gonna get it. Richie Mo'unga. Yep. Damn. Yeah, it was him and Finley Christie really made that one happen. I think everybody kind of saw that coming. That was we should have gone for 3. We shouldn't try to kick it in. We're not going to win off of set pieces. Get the 3, keep it noble. But I think it's also, not having AJ McGinty, because he's pretty money with the ball. Yeah, that was a beautiful run. We're gassed. You can already tell the U.S. boys are already gassed at this point. Yeah, that was. Good to see Richie get in there and get in the mix occasionally, too. Yeah, look at they're showing our guys in the back. We're gassed, man. Coaches are yelling. It's and you just see the look on their faces, and a lot of them were like, "I did not." I mean, you had to know this was going to happen, though. And I mean, I knew this. I mean, I've got my USA jersey, but I got all the Kiwi stuff in the background. You know, it's you had to know this was what was going to be the outcome of this. And I mean, would I've loved to have gone to this? Yeah, it would have been great, but there you go. Yeah, you can see how empty the stadium is. Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. Yeah, it is pretty tough to watch, but I'm gonna watch it nonetheless, just because we don't. Looks like we don't play again until next weekend. But this was just something I was looking forward to doing. It's in the afternoon here in the U.S. and yeah, 40-0. So it makes you beg the question, man. Do you think if the All Blacks were down by 2 guys, they could still do this? Yeah, they probably could. Yeah, it's. Uh, this is how I write my notes down. It's horrible, but that's what I do. The lone U.S. fan holding it up, holding it up. Stand up, man. Stand up, bro. Yeah, rep it, man. Rep it. I mean, there's probably more All Blacks fans at this game. Yeah, no, I agree, Andrew. Yeah, we should always try to take it. I mean, it's. There's no way we have a chance, but like we should just take the 3, so at least we don't have. Yeah, that probably wouldn't work out. Red Dog.
Hey. Okay.
I don't know if that would happen just because our best players, a lot of them still don't play here domestically. So it's kind of like with the Tonga, Samoa, Fiji. You have most of your top players are playing overseas. So a tour of the U.S. to New Zealand, yeah, I mean it would be cool. Maybe play provincial sides like Bunnings teams, or maybe even play like Super Rugby teams. But yeah, just financially, because it would cost. I mean, you have to understand that's like a flight down there and back is like 12, 13, 1400 bucks round trip. It's not cheap. But yeah, no, they gas them out. We're already gassed. You can even tell looking at the scrums here. Look at the faces of the guys on the All Blacks and look at our faces. We're tired already, and they're smiling. All Blacks are having fun. This is a game in the paddock out in Taranaki or Southland or Waikato or wherever. This is like playing a little game out in the backyard with some kids, and I mean it's like I said, I'm happy that the game is happening here. It's good, just to show that like Americans do know Will Jordan and is that a hat trick already at this hour? No, it's only his second. Yeah. They do, yeah, definitely, Joshua. They need to up that physicality and that fitness, but it's like I said, it's not like a couple of weeks ago whenever they were talking about international tours, and I was like, man, like send those Tonga, Fiji, Samoa teams over here. We'd love to play them. Like, just because they are better, but I think it would be better for our team. But playing like the All Blacks, this was really just a quick way for USA Rugby to say, hey, look, guys, we're here, and for New Zealand to make a little bit of coin, $2-3 million off of it. It's really, really sad. Any of you guys outside of the U.S., I have to tell you something that's really, really sad about this. You cannot watch this for free in the United States. You have to pay to watch this through Flow Rugby. It's not on any broadcast television here. This is like if you go to the bar. I would watch it a bit more, but that's actually even harder to get vegetarian. It's really hard to get that over here. We do actually have a world-class oval being built here locally on a old baseball stadium ground. We do have a pretty large Indian contingent here in North Texas. It's one of those things that I think Americans are going to get like, because rugby seems like it's pretty easy for Americans to follow. Cricket is something that's like completely complicated to the typical. So. Yeah. Yeah. I watched the final. The last one was England and the Kiwis going for the final there. Yeah, DSTV. I can get it here, but I have to use a VPN because it's that far away. So, but yeah. Yeah, I prefer T20 as well. It's a lot easier to follow, and it's those 3-day tests are a bit much. I've been to a few. When I lived in New Zealand, I went to one, and it was pretty entertaining. I had to play it a bit growing up. My dad being an Afrikaner, he made me play because he fancied himself a cricket player. And I had to play a bit. I was really bad at it. It was embarrassing, but it was fun because it was mostly just the kids that I grew up in my neighborhood with. So. Yeah, wouldn't let me play rugby because it was too violent. But so I ended up playing ice hockey, which doesn't make any sense. But that's what my mom was about. Oh, USA making a little run here. We got it out to about the midway point of the field. Well, holy to Haka, the big South African, and over the line. Yeah, any of you Sofas watching out there, number 7, Honko, he's a South African. He came here when he was in high school, and he lived in Omaha, Nebraska. So if you ever find interviews with that guy, his accent switches from like a Midwestern farm boy to a South African, and it switches by sentence, and it's absolutely hilarious to listen to him. So, Finley offload from DMAC. Angus Ta'afau with the try. Congrats, Toko. I shot him a message on Instagram telling him that he's got a career in front of the camera after he's done with rugby. Because if any of you guys saw him do interviews or anything, guy is absolutely hilarious, and just looks like a really big kid. He just acts like a really big kid, basically. But he's a good dude. Got a son. Kind of didn't go the normal route to get there. Will Jordan to Finley Christie. He offloads it just over the head. Ta'afau, those big legs of his. And of course, yeah. Yeah, 100 is going to be generous here. It's going to be way more than 100, guys. We're not even 40 minutes into this sucker, and it's already bad. So, well, see, we used to do a tournament, Andrew. We had a Pacific tournament. It was like all those guys with Canada and us, and then I guess once Japan wanted to kind of make that next step up, they weren't interested anymore. I'm trying to think. Are you thinking of that 105 to nil shellacking they gave them? It might be. It might be right up there. It is a bit difficult, but I'm entertained. It's cool to kind of see. It's like I said. It's like the All Blacks have entered the cheat code, and they're playing the very easy team now. Um, I'm sure America. Like I said, predominantly, I bet you that stadium is predominantly All Blacks fans, just because they are the biggest name. But yeah, and that's the hope, Zane. That's the hope, is that we can gain those better games against tier ones. I mean, like I said, I watched the USA beat Scotland, uh, live in Houston, and they beat Scotland. It was absolutely epic. One of the greatest moments in rugby history I've ever witnessed in person at the time. And like I said, it's gonna get there. It's just gonna take a while. You know, yeah. U.S. penalty for not releasing the ball. That bunny chow and that Durban bunny chow, it's extra spicy. Tupaya with the score. Oh man, this is. I used to worry about that too with the ad breaks, but man, they just put them on. They superimpose them on the field most of the time now. So that is kind of the problem selling it to Americans too, is that it's nonstop. They don't. You look at like something like the NFL, or you look at Major League Baseball, or you look at even basketball here. It's a lot of stop, start, stop, start. But I think that is the thing that Americans can really get into, is that, like, when there's somebody hurt, you just roll them over and you keep going, and it just kind of adds a different flair to the game here. TMO, what do we got here? I'm trying to say it's oh. Yeah, I'm trying to check to see if it was a deliberate knock on or not. The Modi flag. See if they're in the crowd. Yeah, I mean, it's just predominantly, obviously, it's just predominantly New Zealand supporters in the crowd. You asking me? Yeah, I have a box out back that I can make biltong in, but we do actually have a Safa restaurant here in North Texas, and the guy makes damn good biltong, and he makes boudivores and drovores and slap chips, all that kind of stuff. He's from Pretoria. We've gone there, and me and my family, we've had breakfast there. I've eaten there a couple of times, and just a family business. Just a guy that came here. I think he was working for Samsung and said, "Screw it, I want to go work for myself." So he opened up a restaurant, and the missus is really keen on his lemon tarts. She loves them a lot. So yeah, yeah. What are we at? 38 minutes? Okay. Let's just try to wing it through this first half, guys. Coming in for a line out in the last minute of this half. See how we do on this one. Gonna try and burn the clock. What do you guys think? You think if All Blacks get possession, they burn it and then just kick it out just to end the half, or do you think they try to go for one more before half? We get possession, we maintain. Trying to get something going to no avail. Whoa, 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 whoa. Augsburger scores. Holy crap. USA, first try in American history against the All Blacks.
Did they get it?
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, I know it's not going to happen, but wouldn't we do something if America came back and won?
He just kind of snuck his way through there, his little frame with that bleach blonde hair, and yeah, that's a try, man. That's the first try. Yeah, that was a surprise. First try. This is the fourth time they've faced each other. Like I said, 1913 was the first time. That was the first try. And converts. Oh, wow. That was an interesting end to the first half, wouldn't you guys say? Yeah, well done, man. Well done. Yeah. I'm sure the All Blacks were probably just like, well, a broken clock is wrong twice a day. But, 59-7 at halftime, guys. I still think that was just kind of a fluke, that score there. Yeah, the only U.S. guy to ever score against the All Blacks, if they don't get any more. But yeah, good on the USA, man. Good that they didn't keep that goose egg up for the whole first half. They kind of finished the first half strong, and we shall see what happens in the second half. Because, yeah. He's done well. Yeah, Augsburger has done pretty damn well today for what it is. And he's not even our main number 9. Our main number 9 is overseas, so he's done really well. I mean, he's no Aaron Smith or, Faf de Klerk, but he's all right, so... So anybody that's watching, we're at halftime, 59-7. Augsburger takes the goose egg off for the Americans. Wasn't, it was about what I think anybody expected. It was going to be a pretty one-sided match, and as it has been from the game. But we got a little break, 20 minutes here. I was going to show you guys something that you probably are going to laugh at or something, but so... South African cooking in the U.S. Some lady wrote this. It was up on Amazon. So how you can cook South African food with American ingredients. And, you've got your potjie there and everything. So just something I picked up on Amazon to try to make a few things from back in South Africa that my family would make. Haven't really gotten around to cooking anything yet. I got some cornmeal so I can make some pap, but haven't gotten around to making it yet. But yeah, that's so I can get get a nice bit of Safa food in me whenever I want to. So, but I do like American food. I like Mexican food a lot. I like food in general. But yeah, Bodie and Pat, man, you got to do it right. Yeah, yeah, with the relish and everything. Yeah, you got to do it right. So. I have done just a couple of bry videos where I'm just like brying outside, usually some bori and some like chipolatas or some burger patties. But you know, it's also I live in an apartment, so it's a bit harder to bry here. Like I have to go. I've done one on the porch, and the missus was like, "Don't do that." She was right because we can get in trouble for it, but.
Burn the place down.
Could burn the place down by accident cooking. I'm gonna have to tell the firemen, "Oh man, I was making bori out on my porch." What's bori? Bordivores. What's bordivores? Because they don't know what that is here. But yeah. So I had to listen to the misses on that one. So. But oh, if any Kiwis are watching, obviously you know what that is, and you know what this is. But you're probably looking at this up there and saying, "What is that?" So. I will reach back. No, I can't even reach it. That is actually your national ice hockey team's jersey. Yes, yeah, you have a national team jersey. Do I plan on? Yeah, because I've got to take my missus and my kiddo back to the farm, just so they can kind of see where that side of my family comes from. So yeah, that's definitely a hope. Oh, I bet. Yeah, it's perfect bry weather, man. I saw the weather report there in South Africa, and it's perfect weather for it, man. This is, well, I mean, there's no such thing as bad bry weather, so. But yeah, any Kiwis watching, that's actually your national ice hockey team jersey. Yes, you have a national ice hockey team. Yes, yeah, I've seen them. Yes, I've been around them. But it's, yeah. Been trying to get a South African national ice hockey team jersey, but they don't mass produce them. I got this because I was very close with the GM and the head of the Ice Hockey Federation there, so I've got a couple of New Zealand hockey jerseys as well. So I've tried. So to watch the URC here, we've got to pay like $150, and I do follow online quite a bit, and I mean that refereeing is absolutely gosh horrible. But it's just $150 because like here it's just like anywhere else. It's getting to where like if you want to watch rugby, you got to buy like 5 different apps. Like I use Flow Sports, I get the Curry Cup, the Bunnings, and then I get internationals. But I don't get URC. I don't get Pro 14. I don't get I don't get URC. I don't get Premiership. I don't get that top 12 in France. Now I can get on Peacock app and watch the Premiership, but I cannot stand the Premiership. I'm sorry, I know a lot of people like it. I think it's boring, and I mean, it's $56. Okay, I'll have to look into that, man. I'll have to look into that. Getting the VPN there so I can watch DSTV because then I can watch cricket and. I found a couple of YouTube channels where they'll put the South African schools on, and that's really entertaining considering like the only other school rugby I've watched was New Zealand schools when I lived there. There's Fozzie on the field. Yeah, he's not even wearing a suit. He's wearing a training shirt. Like, yeah, it's not. Yeah, the refs are horrible in URC. I've seen it so bad. It's just really bad, and it's really sad because it's like I feel like. Once this international window's open and a lot of our guys go back to their URC teams, you're going to see a change overnight, and I don't think you're going to see a big one change for the other teams, but yeah. Yeah, if SA plays America next year, if they come here, you better believe I'll be right down there in the front, man. Like, I'll have my Springbok jersey on and everything. But, yeah, it's, yeah, those videos where they show how bad the officiating is. And for anybody that's curious as to the stadium, obviously it's pretty lackluster with attendance. The Washington football team used to be called the Redskins, but the Washington football team, I believe they're in like last place in their division. They will sell that stadium out every single game. yeah, that's how big football is in this country. Gridiron football. That stadium will sell out every single game. So it's a bit disheartening to think about it, but you know that it is what it is, man. But yeah, they'll sell out every single game. Yes, I am, and if they're on at a decent hour, I'll still live broadcast it because it's fun. You know, this is the first time I've ever done this, guys. It's a little bit nervous about it, but seems to be doing keen. Just kind of talking to you guys as you message and watching the game, and so. But yeah, guys, if there's anything you guys want me to do a video on, maybe something here in America, like sports related, that you'd like to see, just shoot me an email, hit me up on Instagram, or if you email me, you want to get my WhatsApp, we can talk on WhatsApp. I don't mind. I've tried to kind of show like American football, our local our local rugby here with the collegiate team. The girls' season starts up in the springtime here, which will be, I guess, the fall for you guys, and I'll try to. Right now in the U.S. in Texas, it is 3:28 p.m. in the afternoon. It is a beautiful day. My missus is currently getting some stuff together. It's her best friend's birthday, so she's like in the kitchen to my right, and she's running a little late apparently. She didn't realize how late it was, but her friends are cool. They'll understand. Yeah, she's got some interesting friends. It's always good. You know, you shouldn't hate your partner's friends. I don't hate my partner's friends, so I just think they're weird. But that's just that. Gary Gold doing his little interview. You can tell he's just kind of he's over it already. What do you do, Josh? What's your job? Okay, IT work. Okay. I guess you can work remotely from home, I imagine. I work in logistics at the international airport here. Had an incident Thursday. I dropped a pretty heavy. Yeah, the U.S. coach is South African. Gary Gold is South African. I think he was like an assistant coach for a bit for the Springboks back, I think, under Jake White, maybe. But yeah, Gary Gold's done well as a coach here. It's hard. It's a hard place to coach, but I know he lives in Colorado in the mountains. It's absolutely beautiful. My parents live there too, so he's pretty keen, you know, on it. So, you know, I'm glad to have him as our coach. Oh yeah, he is the ex Sharks coach. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But you know, anything's better than John Mitchell. That guy was absolutely atrociously bad as a coach. He was the former all that black, but okay, you gotta go to the office. Yeah, I gotta go into the office too, man. I know how you feel. But yeah, Thursday night I dropped. I had a pretty large piece of sheet metal I needed to ship out to a customer. It weighed about 60 kgs, 55, 60 kgs, and I dropped one on my toe and had to go to the hospital. And it sucked, but you know. Um, but yeah, got it taken care of. They gave me some antibiotics. Speaking of which, gotta take those in a minute here. But yeah, yeah. Yeah, man, John Mitchell was horrible. That guy was just, yeah. I saw him play a couple. I told him can coach a bit here in the U.S. because I'd just gotten back into the country when he was still coaching. But yeah, he was garbage, man. Like I don't. Yeah, I think he was even working for South Africa for a bit. Now I think he's working for Eddie Jones. But yeah. And I think the biggest, strangest part uh, is as bad as our men's side is. Our women's side is actually dominant. So is Canada's. The women have won a World Cup before, and it's yeah. No, I've never had. Yeah, I've never had Zamalek. No, I don't really drink. When I did live in South Africa, they were real keen on Toffel Lager. I think was the brand that my family drank, and I had one or two. Wasn't really not a really a big drinker. If I did, I drink wine usually, or I drink vodka or rum. So my family, they've only seen me drink a handful of times, and it's I had like a rum and coke. We went to the beach for holiday. We were at like some nice restaurant out by the water, and I ordered a rum and coke, and it was absolutely delicious. So yeah. But Fintok Lager, yeah, I've had that. I've had it. Had that when I was in South Africa. That was one I think I had at a pub or something one time. It was not bad. Damn. Already back out on the pitch. Everybody's getting stretched out. Yeah, so I actually picked up a bit of a weird thing when I was in New Zealand. They drink mulled wine, so you put it in like in a crock pot and heat it up with like cinnamon and clove. I would drink that a lot. I work for a German company, so occasionally I would get bottles of Glühwein, the Christmas wine, from them, and do the same thing, just heat it up and kind of sip on it. And it was the occasional night where it would get cold here. But yeah, Malonga kicks off beginning of the second half. It's just crazy the difference between the U.S. It's when we kick off to them, they're going immediately. It's like us, we've got to take our time to set up, to do anything. And then we kick the ball away, which, I mean, DMAC is just kind of trotting around the field. Asafo Mua stops there. Christie offloads. A little bit of a bad pass there. Picked up by DMAC. And then Ta'aval with his second at the 43rd. I mean, I love Angus Ta'aval. Don't get me wrong. That's one of my favorite players in the entire world. Yeah. It was just a bad hop. And it's like I said, it's the difference between watching the U.S. and the All Blacks is that when they get the ball, they're ready to rearing to go. When we get the ball, it's like we have to set up, and that's the difference between a Tier 1 team and a Tier 2 team, and the All Blacks and the Eagles. And it's like, it's even with, Mwanga converts, and yeah. Well, I don't even know what the time is because unfortunately on Flow Sports they're not leaving the timer up on the board, which I'm kind of like, it's kind of amateurish of you guys to do it. So they have like the score at the bottom, but no time. I think it's just it's kind of an American broadcast. They don't realize that the timer is kind of important. No, there it goes. So we're at 42:15 right now, guys. That's where we're at here, watching it locally. Ethan de Groot. Finley offloads to Mo'unga. DMAC. Will Jordan takes a little stumble there at the midway point of the field. All Blacks line right back up and just keep moving the ball. Okay, what do we got here? Okay. Entering from the side penalty on the All Blacks, which any of my Springbok fans will know, you know. Seems to be a common thing with them. But, yeah. Line out for the Eagles. And a scoreable spot. We'll see what we can do on this line out, how our set pieces look. We're delaying it. Okay, we got it. All Blacks are they contested. He goes down immediately. Augsburger has the ball. Offloads. We're holding possession. We're just not getting very much ball movement. We're not moving forward enough. And it's like every time we get the ball, we're committing. We're either committing too many or we're not committing enough players. And we're at the 20 right now. Just trying to move forward, trying to get some phases. We've got some good phases going here. See if we can maybe bust through, but you can see the All Blacks already lined up. They know the name of the game at this point. We go back. Are they going to get the turnover? They're trying their best. We still have possession. Augsburger offloads. This is the longest we've held the ball the entire game. Uncle Herma says... I said I keep bringing him up for a lot of the South Africans. That's our South African right there. He's an amazing player, great kid, great guy. I met him in Houston once, super nice guy. Not releasing. 45-30 into this game. 66-7 for anybody who's just joining. Again, I appreciate all you guys coming and joining me for this. Hopefully we can make a weekly thing out of this. That'd be great. Watch some rugby together and kind of, just chit-chat with you guys. Got to thank the missus. This is her iPad I'm using because I don't have a laptop, so she's making this possible, guys. So... So everybody, what do you think? At what point do you think New Zealand starts replacing guys, starts calling their run-ins on? We're 46 minutes in. Do you think the next 10 minutes we start seeing some of their run-ons come in? We have our first run-on in. Ben Forden comes in. Augsburger feeds in the scrum. We're not even, they push us back immediately. Augsburger has it. Ethan de Groot looking at the ref like, hey, they collapsed way too quickly, because they did. Hermesize gets pushed back. We still have possession. Nothing. Kick forward, kicks it away. D-Mac receives the kick. Does a little behind the back to George Bridge. Was that George Bridge? Hold on, I've got to look back. Yeah, George Bridge. Making sure I wasn't getting confused there. Richie Mongo with a clean break here. He's got open pace. Offload to McKenzie. And then Dalton Papali'i gets across the try line. Yes. Yes, they scored again. And again. Yeah, Papali'i. Not Papali'i. Papali'i. I watched that New Zealand video where they were talking about how to Papali'i, yeah, how to pronounce their names properly. Because I'm even guilty of calling James Lynch's from Otago for the Highlanders. Yeah, it is extremely one-sided, and I mean, I think anybody knew tuning in that that's what this was going to be. This was going to be very, very one-sided. So. Kind of see the sun's clouds are getting a bit much because you see they got the lights on in the stadium here now. You can kind of see them shining a bit more because it is a cloudy day there in DC. So, well, it's not even in DC. I think they're actually in Virginia or Maryland, but that's all just considered DC. So, and does he get it? Does he get it? Yep. For those of you keeping score at home, yeah, that's 10 tries to 1. So, yeah, it's gonna be a long afternoon. Restarts. George Bridge catches the restart. 49 minutes, 42 seconds in. It's now 73-7. Yeah, I mean, the MLR is going to be the way to go. It's a young league still. Like I said, we finally got a team starting this year. They were supposed to start last year here in Dallas. Best believe there's going to be a lot of coverage of that. I'm going to be taking my missus out. We're season ticket holders. So, like, even my missus, who's from Kansas, and she's, like, grew up as a big football person, like, she even enjoys it. I mean, the things she enjoys about it, not just the game, but it's, like, the amateurish vibe that still has at the end of the game when players come up and take pictures with you and shake hands, and you know what I mean? Like, it's like that it still has that, you know, a lot of people, you know, I'm old enough to remember when rugby union was still strictly amateur, and it hasn't been professional for very long, and it still remains that vibe. And it's why I'm still a fan after all these years, just because it's like I look at these guys, and a lot of them are like, you know, if they weren't doing rugby, they'd probably be working in engineering or construction, you know what I mean, just normal jobs like everyone else. It's not like a LeBron James or something, or like a Tom Brady. You don't look at them as being like, oh, they're these multimillionaires that live on the top of the mountain. It's like, no, these guys are working class dudes just like you. So it's kind of why I enjoy it. And then she's not like normal American girls. She does not like English accents.
Oh gosh, no.
She hates English accents. Yeah. That's women here love English accents. My missus does not, which is a surprise, but yeah, I think she prefers like the Scottish or the Irish ones. But yeah, she cannot stand the English accents. I mean, even the scrum, you can look like we don't even make movement. The Dallas Jackals are the MLR team. We're going to be coached by a really young Aussie coach. We did have an Irish coach, but he ended up splitting and going to Seattle, I believe. So, yeah, the Dallas Jackals of the MLR. I've had a video or two where I've had their shirt on. We'll wait until the season gets closer. We'll get the jerseys on and whatnot. But yeah, they're going to be playing at what is now called Choctaw Stadium. It used to be called the ballpark in Arlington. It was an old baseball stadium, and it's going to be pretty exciting stuff. They reconfigured the stadium for a soccer field, so it is big enough for rugby. And it looks like the USA might have just scored. Mr. Hold on, I'm really bad at this. Oh, Ryan Matias, yeah. Looks like he just got across. TMO decision, obviously, to come. And we shall see how it goes. What do you guys think? You think his feet were out? The strongest MLR team, well, it was the Guiltinis last year. Having Adam Ashley Cooper and, Matt Gattau didn't hurt. Atlanta has a really solid program. Nola Gold has a strong program. But, obviously, the Guiltinis are going to be in rebuild because both of those guys have retired. I think they've joined, the front office or the coaching side of it. Which state has the biggest rugby following? Probably California, believe it or not. California has a huge one. Georgia has a big one. Texas has a really big one, especially Houston and Austin. We have a pretty decent one here in North Texas as well. But I'd say California, Texas, and Georgia are the ones, at least in my opinion. I might be wrong. I've had some people tell me Pennsylvania and Ohio have huge followings as well, so... Seattle has been, in the past they've been really strong, and they have a really good following there. So here in North Texas, believe it or not, we actually have a really huge Tongan community in Euless, Texas. But we all have seen what Tongans have gotten into. They are league players for the most part now. But it's he's out. Yeah. Oh, they're gonna award it. Oh, they awarded it. Second try in history. So history being made here today, folks. First 2 tries in U.S. history against the All Blacks. And let's see what it'll be. Do we get this conversion? Hopefully so. There's still no way, but it's cool to at least see us put up a little bit of a fight. We're still putting up a better fight than Tonga did, in my opinion, but was that really Tonga that the All Blacks played, though, or that was just the local Tongan guys that could play. Kurt Marath, leading Tongan scorer ever. He lives in Austin, Texas. He plays for the Austin MLR team. Get through. Yep, they convert. Then Anton Leonard Brown goes ahead and spoils the show again. Yeah. ALB, another one of my faves. You guys know he made my list, so just love that guy's background. Hardworking Samoan kid that some people think he looks Mexican, which I always thought was funny, because it's like, he doesn't really look Mexican to me. He looks Asian to me, but... Havili, offload, Mwanga. Yeah, ALB in with ease. That's good. That's good for him, you know. Yeah, quick response says it. Artie Savea is the water boy there. Oh, and he shanks the conversion. So that would make him what? 11 of 10 of 12 now? So we got 78-14 in the 56th minute. So anybody that's just joining, 53rd minute, Maria scores the second U.S. try, and Cordy converts, makes it 73-14, and less than a minute and a half later, Anton Leonard-Brown runs it in and gets one right back. And yeah, it's... Yeah, and I think they will. I think they score. I still think the All Blacks probably put up 100 still at this point, because we haven't even really started going to our bench yet. And when we go to our bench, it's going to become painfully obvious. Oh, is TJ out there? Yes, TJ. Okay, TJ came in for Christie. So they have started doing some of their run-ons for the All Blacks. Dan Coles is out. Okay, so they've started. Unfortunately, like I said, this U.S. coverage, they're not showing anything up on the screen like when you watch Sky or, DSTV or any of that, or Stan. They'll show you all that information. They're not showing that here for us. Unfortunately, all we have is a clock and a score at the corner, and that's it. Not even showing phases or tries or any of that stuff, so... But it's what you get here. It's what we have, so... Luke Jacobson moving it down. Americans trying to steal a bit of possession to no avail. Okay, that is deliberate knock on. Yeah. Or a knock on. Yeah. Gonna check to see. Once again, thank you guys for explaining to me the hand thing. If the hand is this or this or this, yeah, that's what kind of decides how severe the penalty is. White luck out. Looks like he barely even broke a sweat. Oh man, you see Bowden Barrett there in the background. He's getting squared. Okay, we're starting to bring on some of our run-ins on for the Eagles off the bench, so we'll see how this goes. What kind of gambit this will be. In certain places, like Houston has a high school rugby program, but it's a club sport here in our schools. So meaning, like, if you have a rugby program, it's not sponsored by the school, it's not sanctioned by the school, but you can use the school name. Like, I live in Denton, we have 4 high schools here, and none of them have a rugby team. But if you go to, like, Dallas, the closest big city to us, the private schools usually have them, and then like the wealthier schools and wealthier suburbs will have club teams. But no, it's not sanctioned by the school yet here. Even Ruben DeHaas, he played for Jesseville High School in Arkansas. So, but yeah, it's already messy. It's already been messy. It could get messier for the Eagles at this point. And then illegal scrummaging penalty. So we're at 5 meters out, getting ready for a line out here. We'll see how that goes. 78-14, 58 minutes, 54 seconds into this match. This is a big one for us if we can maybe try to put something else on here. Obviously, we're not going to make a comeback, but I'd like to at least... I feel like we've already saved face a bit by scoring 2 tries. I'd like to see Honko get one in, just because, he's such a hard-working guy. But yeah, he even played for, like, the Omaha State rugby team. Honko did when he moved here. His dad, I think, had come here for a while, and then he came over here with his father. But no, we don't have high school rugby here yet. Houston has it because the MLR SaberCats team, and maybe we'll get it now that we have an MLR team here. I'm always telling a lot of guys that play, lower level football, Division II football, like, hey, give it a try. I mean, it's fun, and maybe you might be great at it. You never know, TJ feeds in the scrum. So 2-2 picks it up and is open as TJ's got an open space here. Is he going to try and offload? He does offload. And kicks it into touch. Yeah, run-ons have started coming on. Oh, there's Sam Kane, captain. Good to see him back out on the pitch. Didn't think that would happen for a while there. Yeah, it's the thing about rugby here is like either you're born into a family that... Yeah, I've seen that too, that they've been in the Western Province Academy. And we've got guys we've got a guy coming here to play in Dallas that came out of that academy who's from South Africa. We're putting a little bit of pressure on defensively right now, it looks like. But the ABs are maintaining possession. There's Bowden Barrett into the game. Josh Lord with his debut, the Chief. Dan Coles. The turnover. USA has it at the 22. Now we can if we can hold possession, we should be all right. Let's keep it stripped out. Looks like Lasiki is in the game as well for the U.S. Another guy that's really solid. I think he plays for Harlequins, I think. No, that's not Lasiki. Excuse me. My bad. Lasiki is playing for the Harlequins. Kick it away. Do we get it into touch? We get it over the 50. Yeah. But yeah, like we definitely need to kind of shore up some things as far as getting rugby as a better sport here. But it's working out, man. Like you're gonna start seeing it. Like it's just one of those things that's just gonna take time for us to get better at it. I work with a couple of people when we were talking about basketball of all sports and how like back when they had the original dream team in the '92 Barcelona Olympics and they were blowing everyone out of the water. And then this most recent Olympics where you look at the other teams and they had just as many NBA players on their teams, and it's like how it's changed, how it takes time, and that's what's going to happen with rugby. Right now we're every other team that isn't the top team, and it's going to take some time to get there. And I think when the U.S. machine gets going for rugby, I think it's going to be it's going to be a monster. All right, we're going to go for another line out at the 5 meter in the all black zone. Let's see if this one can turn out a pretty decent way. I think for a lot of people out there, it's like you have the two different types. So. Yeah, you are. The All Blacks this is not your A team, A game at all. If you were playing South Africa or England, you'd probably be eating your lunch right now. But you know what? It's entertaining. It's cool. You're keeping it honest, at least. That's how I feel. That's why I have all the All Black stuff up, because it's like I do respect the team. I'm obviously a massive Springboks guy, but I don't talk bad about the All Blacks whatsoever. Augsburger. We're looks about 15 meters out right now. There's Uncle Hermesize with the ball. They're pushing to try to turn the ball over, the All Blacks are. There goes Damian McKenzie over the top. Nope, we still have it. Offload. Oh, oof. That was a hit. That was a hit. Oh. Oof. Yeah, that's one of those ones where you seize up. Man, take the 3 points, man. Why are you kicking it out, dude? Take the 3 points, man. Keep it interesting. Yeah, I know. At this point, it doesn't really matter, but I don't have a single Aussie. Wait, I digress. I don't have a jersey, but I have a Kangaroos ice hockey, their national ice hockey team shirt. But I don't have any, no Aussie jerseys. No, man. Like I just, it was great. Lived in Melbourne for a while. It's yeah, I just was not keen on the product that they produced. Now, like if I was a rugby league fan, I'd probably be a little bit more keen. But it was just not huge on it. And don't even get me started on AFL. I could not understand that game whatsoever. And I've had everybody try to explain it to me. And I still, to this day, cannot understand AFL at all. I don't think a lot of people outside of Australia get AFL. But we actually have an AFL league in this country, too. Very, very low level. But yeah, it's not. Will Jordan, open space, offloads to Sotutu. Paranera running like a machine. Oh, here comes. Yeah, that's it. Bowden Barrett scores. Yeah, you already know. He's going to score. Yep, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. Bowden Barrett still has it. He definitely still has it. Yeah. Bowden Barrett's definitely one of those guys I've watched go from a little kid to being a man, just because I've followed it that long. He's one of those guys that you remember when he made his debut and winning back-to-back World Player of the Year there for a bit. He was kind of like the biggest name in rugby for a while, and then kind of fell off a little bit. Made the change, went to the Blues, which it wasn't. Yeah, he is fast, man. Like he's just one of those guys that he's kind of like a Cheslin Colby, man. He just needs this much space, and he's done. Yeah, not Scott, just Bowden and Jordy. And then, D-Mac is doing the kicks now, man. Oh, there's the grin. You know he's got it. Yeah. Has he got it? Has he got it? Has he got it? Yep, he nails it, man. Yeah, that's just another day at the office for Bowden Barrett. I'm sure he's probably telegraphing it in at this point. He's just going out there just to get a couple more reps here. And the restart, and we will see how it goes from here. Barrett receives. Parnell with the offload to Barrett, to D-Mac, to Will Jordan. He is brutally dangerous outlaw. Okay, ball went over. Offside on the U.S. Is Bowden Barrett going to kick it out? Yep. I don't understand anything about the AFL. The ball, the rules, yeah, it made no sense to me at all. And I went to like maybe 3 or 4 games of it, and I just could not understand it. There goes Hermesize off. Had a hell of a game for what it was worth. I wish he'd gotten a little bit more time with the ball, but that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Sam Kane, Will Jordan open, and Will Jordan will score again. Man, I know when I do the post game of this, I'm gonna have to add up a lot of math here. Yeah, dude, if you want to, Andrew, if you can Dropbox it to me, my email address is on all my stuff, man. I would love to watch it. There's just no way to watch it here. Like, we just finally got like a couple of the bigger ones, like Pacific Warriors we've had for a while, By the Balls, which was the '87 All Blacks documentary. And then the one with Richie McCall, we can buy, we can stream it here. It's a bit expensive, but yeah, I would love. Yeah, if you could send that to me, that'd be great. I would love to watch it. You know, I've seen clips of it that you can find online, usually fairly pretty easily. So it's just unfortunate we don't have ease of access to get that here, as it is with a lot of South African things. I mean, luckily I have a local market, but I'd love to watch it. Yeah, like I've heard nothing but great things about it, and like I said, that 2019 World Cup was something very special for a lot of us Springbok supporters, just because nobody picked us. Nobody picked us. Nobody. You know, like we were not expected to win it. And I'm one of the people that, you know, I thought the All Blacks had it in the bag. Honestly, I was like, okay, they're going to win their third in a row, and that'll cement Hansen's rep and Kieran Reid's rep. And no, alas, and not only did we play England for the championship, we beat the brakes off of them, in my opinion. Like, we humiliated the English team. So,
I have to shut it out. I don't know.
you know, I figured this pitch would hold up a lot better, too, being that it's an NFL pitch. But it looks pretty bad right now. Yeah, my dad would have been keen on that one. If he was still alive, he would have loved that feeling of beating the English, because my dad was not keen on them very much. So if there was anything to upset my father, it was like, yeah. Actually, as a matter of fact, if my dad were still alive and he saw this, I would be like disowned by my father. He would have been like, "Get out of, you're not related to me anymore." So, but yeah, it's know a lot of you guys are Springbok supporters. I know we got the lineups for what we are going to be able to take into this Northern Tour. Obviously, no Cheslin Colby, which really does bother me. And then Faf de Klerk being out is a really big one. But I'm happy with what we have. A lot of that, that last Rugby Championship introduced me to a lot of guys that I had really kind of like either never heard of or had given up on. Elton Yonkes redeemed himself into me. Quagga Smith turned out to be really, really good in that final game. Jacobus Reinach is solid. I feel at 10 we're definitely a little weak. I'd like to see Hoosen get his chance again in the jersey, but that remains to be seen whether that's going to happen or not. I know there's a lot of politics involved, but I try to leave that alone because I live here in America. So Parnara with a nice little run there. We finally get him down at the midway point. Jacobson with the offload to Hood Barrett. D-Mac has the ball, quick offloads. And Will Jordan knocks it forward. And then we turn around and knock it forward. What kind of crap is that, man? Yeah. Oh, Hussein is injured. Oh, that's not good, man. That's unfortunate. Um, Somebody had kind of turned me on to him, and I saw that like when he was in school still, where he kicked like some ridiculous like 70-meter penalty. I was like, holy crap. Like, Paul Mullen coming out. Interesting about Paul Mullen, he came here to go to school. He was a marine biology major at Galveston, Texas A&M Galveston, and he was reffing, and then he started playing again. Oh man, that's not good that Hussein is out that long. That would have been keen if they had. If he hadn't been injured, that would have been a solid one. Um, yeah, another scrum here where you can just tell the All Blacks are on a different level than the Americans. I was going to ask any of my Staffa followers out there if they're Kurt Darren fans or Schnottkop fans. I don't. It's not the typical kind of music I listen to, but I do follow those guys because they're big Afrikaner artists, South African artists. Also, huge Stan Walker fan for any Kiwis out there. Love Stan Walker. That stuff just takes me right back to the living in Aotearoa every time I put it on, man. It just takes me back to my drives and the Coromandel and whatnot. It was just a beautiful time. So we're at 74-40, guys. Score right now is 92-14. Fussy does need to play more. I do agree with you on that. That is definitely an agreeing thing right there. You guys probably don't have these. This is Chick-fil-A. It's a big chain here. It's a chicken place. My kiddo, it's like her favorite fast food establishment. I went and got that for my mid-tall guess and my lunch today. So, and had a chicken sandwich. It was pretty damn good. So. 75th minute in, line out for the U.S. We get the line out. And penalty coming in from the side, maybe? Roll bet here is, will the All Blacks be able to break 100 in the last 5 minutes? Yes, I've seen a bit of Gallant as well. Gallant as well. Well, after the little bit of disappointment LaRue has had in the last couple of games, we need a replacement pretty badly. Love the guy to death. Love Willie LaRue, but yeah, he's been definitely on the downside. And as much as I love Andre Pollard, I definitely think we need another option. Elton is good at times, but I think we need another solid guy at 10 that's more dependable. I mean, I think Andre Pollard is great. He's just very one-dimensional. You need that dynamic. You need that, Bowden Barrett type guy that can play both sides of the ball, and I don't feel like we get that with Andre as much. But I think we also rely on the fact that our forwards, our front, second, third, first and second row are just that damn good that you don't need to play as much defense in the back as you do in the front. So as always, when I watch international test matches, when it's not the Springboks or the All Blacks, you kind of always look like, who do they model their game after? And the problem with the U.S. is we don't really model it after anybody because we can't. Parnera. Oh, that was kind of a hit. Dude, it's... We're trying to hold it, but they're on a run. D-Mac with the offload. Anton Leonard-Brown. Dan Coles. To Sam Kane, he drops it. Did we get the turnover? Yeah. Knock on. Okay, knock on the All Blacks. Yeah, any guys that are New Zealand supporters, obviously the All Blacks are not playing their A game today, but it's 92-14. Do you really need to play your A game when the score is like that? I think these guys are just out there having fun, just keeping their blood flow, getting the blood pumping. Because the real stuff starts in a couple of weeks here when they're over in Europe doing their thing. Obviously not versus Italy, but I'm keen for those games. I've also seen, he needs time. Yeah. Is that Damien Alonso? Yeah, he does need time. Same thing with the Eagles here. They just need time, man. It's going to take time. We're going to develop the players. We're going to be solid. Yeah, like I wasn't born here. This is my home now, and I will tell you this: anything about Americans when it comes to sport, if we put ourselves to it, we become the best at it in the world. The unfortunate part is the sports that we're best at in the world are the sports that no one else plays. American football, baseball, basketball. These are all American-grown sports. Ice hockey, they're competitive. They're not the best, but they're in the top 5 usually. And I just think that's the thing about it. It would be huge. The question would be the venues that they could use, because most NFL stadiums would be too damn big, and they use turf. They could probably use a lot of our MLS stadiums that we have here in the States, like Dallas's MLS, FC Dallas is perfect size. I think it seats like 34,000. You can already tell, yes, it does need massive exposure. And I think, like I said, it's one of those things that I think if Americans could get into it, they would love it, because they'd see what it is. That it's like, it's not just guys tackling without pads. It takes a lot of strategy. It takes a lot of, like, you have to figure out things. You have to set things up properly. And that's something that I do like. I think, some coaches do it really well and some don't. I mean, Rassi Erasmus is the guy's a tactician. He sees the game as a chessboard, and he moves the pieces to where they need to go to win. Steve Hansen did the same thing really well. Eddie Jones, I think, does it pretty damn good. You do see some coaches internationally that do that really, really well. I think Mario Ledesma of Argentina is a hell of a coach, despite their recent record. I think he's a hell of a coach. I have nothing but respect for Mario Ledesma, not just because he's an ex-player, but because I think he's a great coach as well. And to probably piss off Aussie people and more, I actually liked Michael Chiklo a lot. I thought that guy was a great coach. He just was working with what he had. And, when rugby union is no longer your nation's biggest sport, you're getting what's left. If you're a kid coming out of school and NRL has all this success and all this money, why am I going to go play union to get my butt kicked by the All Blacks every year? So I get it. I totally understand. Yeah, so I'm not really keen on the NFL. I like collegiate football because I went to a college that had a really big football program, and I get it. It is very stop and start. You guys have seen a video. I did the one for the local university here, and it's like I said, I get it. It's not the same as rugby, but it's what people are into here. I felt the same way about I don't like rugby league. I think is boring. It's just like, to me, it's just not hard hitting enough. It's not. I get it, it's cool, whatever, but it's not I'm not entertained whatsoever by watching rugby league. I'm not even, I like sevens a bit, but I'm not even a huge sevens fan, so, but it's fun to watch. Mostly just because I could never play it. I'm too fat and too slow. Sam Whitelock on the TV right now, you might recognize him. He played a hobbit in The Lord of the Rings. Or was he an orc? As big as he is. Hey, honey, can you grab me a bottle of water? Please? It's underneath the hamper there. "78 minutes in." Yeah, I mean, sevens is fast. And I mean, that's I really enjoy watching it in the Olympics is really entertaining. You'll be alright. Offload to TJ, Will Jordan. ALB has it at the 5-meter line. D-Mac picks it up. Over the head pass to Dane Coles. Who gets it in? The 79th minute, Dane Coles. The old man Dane Coles. I was born in Brampton, Ontario, Canada, raised there. My father was from Limpopo, or Northern Province. I think it was called Northern Transvaal at the time when he was born there. But yeah, that's my connection. I still have a bunch of family outside of Polokwane, Petersburg, who has a farm still. Family farm is still there. Lived there for a bit. That's my connection to South Africa. Is my father. Father was very proud proud for Connor, man. Kind of that old school, though, you know, unfortunately. A bit more the old school. He was, very hard kind of guy. Didn't really talk about feelings too much, just worked. He's an older gentleman when I was born. And, yeah, that's my Safa connection. So that's why I am such an ardent. So that's why I am. As far as loose forwards, yeah, I mean, I put him and like Michael Hooper as some of the best loose forwards. But I mean, like, look, dude, I mean, yeah, you could say, oh, well, I'm a huge Dwayne Vermeulen fan. Obviously, he's kind of in the twilight of his career, maybe. He was saying, though, he wants to hold out for the next World Cup. That would be cool to see him make the squad. He'd definitely be a run on. Yeah, Dwayne Vermeulen is solid. Yeah, Dwayne Vermeulen's one of my favorite players on the entire planet.
I love you, Mom. Did you get on my way? Thank you, appreciate it.
They don't believe in feelings, but the downside is when you're growing up and you have a missus and a daughter, it's kind of hard because then you hide your feelings a bit too much. And I try not to be one of those guys that talks about all that, but yeah, dude, it's like, you know, mental health is a thing, you know, and it's... All right, so siren has gone off. All Blacks are trying to break 100. It's 97-14. Missed the conversion. Dan Coles, offload to Sam Kane. Braden Enor, got an open heap of space. TJ Perenara. So there you have it, folks. They broke 100. The 81st minute. TJ. I mean, I hope Dwayne. Dude, I like Dwayne's background story too, man. Like, he's just a blue collar kid. Family moved around a lot, and rugby was the thing that kept his feet on the ground. And you see it now, even the way he is as a man. It's like he's very, very family oriented. You know, like he's all about his wife and his kiddo. You know, and that's, you know, as a grown man myself, you know, I appreciate that. DMAC converts. Is 3 of 4. And yeah, oh, wait a minute. You guys let me know when it's over for you, and we'll announce the final score. Oh, this was ugly, guys. Yeah, this was an ugly one, guys. But I don't think anybody gave the U.S. any type of chance. 104-14, the final score. It was a nasty one. If this had been the Springboks, they would have beat the All Blacks playing like this. You know, congrats to the ABs. Now you go to Europe and the real fun begins, and we have to get prepared to play Chile to try and make this next Rugby World Cup, which is not going to be easy. They did smash the Canadians about a bit and knock them out of contention. And hopefully we can beat Chile, qualify for this next World Cup, and end up in a group where we might be able to eke a win out of it, possibly, maybe. But, you know, it's we still got 2 more years left till that. Yeah, I mean, that was a given. You knew it was going to happen. Just history. You look at how bad we played against Uruguay, and you knew the 80s were going to just steamroll this team into the ground. And, yeah, so it's, they're showing an advertisement for the, yeah, I mean, 2 tries against the number 2 team in the world is not something to bat an eye at, you know? Like, they did play their best for what we had. You know, I think if AJ McGinty had been in there, it would have been a little bit different. I'm not saying we would have won, but we probably would have scored a bit more off his boot, because he can kick extremely well there for Sale. Yeah, they did okay, considering. They could have done a lot better, but, you know, alas, they did not. So it was, yeah, it was a great game. It was fun. Thanks, guys, for all tuning in. Email me. You can find it in my videos. Follow me on Instagram, Fairweather Rugby Fan with 2 X's, and I try to post on there pretty regularly. And yeah, now I get to finish the rest of my afternoon. I have to clean my toe because I smashed it at work the other day. So, but I've seen him upset. Yeah, Augsburger is a good guy. Yeah, 2 tries is better than 3 penalties, but I would have liked 2 tries and 3 penalties. But yeah, cheers, guys. Be safe. Cheer to any Kiwis watching, and cheers to anyone else. And yeah, I'm gonna try and do some dry bits. But thanks for everybody tuning in. I really appreciated it so much, all of you guys. This was very nerve-wracking in the beginning, but it turned out to be really, really well. But cheers, and I'll talk to all of you guys again very, very soon.